All right, WDGR Society, listen up. Community Game Night continues on Friday, January 31st from 8 p.m. to midnight with Battlefield 1 on PlayStation 4. Travel back with us to World War I, pick your class of choice, squad up, and join us for an evening of all-out warfare. We'll be launching classic Battlefield modes such as Conquest, Rush, Team Deathmatch, and Domination, all while running through the muddy trenches with our trench clubs as we fear for our lives together. We'll be storming the deserts of Arabia, embarking on naval ships and turning tides, and reliving the Russian Civil War in the name of the song. Join us on the front lines Friday, January 31st from 8 p.m. to midnight. For more details, be sure to find us on Discord as well as our website, WDGRPodcast.com. I'll see you guys there. I've been going to Sport Clips, and I really don't want to go there anymore because I'm not a sports guy. So every time I sit down, they're like, "Oh, did you see the the Lakers game?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It's always just like it's
sports team,
dude. It's like the see. That's how little I know. See, it's like the bathroom incident. Remember, like where you're in the bathroom, the guy's in the bathroom, you get a knock on the door, and the response from you sitting on the john is always, "Yeah,
yeah."
That's how I respond. When
mine is,
did you see like the fucking Rockets game? Yeah, clearly the fucking door's locked, buddy.
Yeah. Like, why are you knocking? Just dust the fucking handle.
Hey, folks, thanks for downloading episode 61 of Will and Drew's Gaming Retrospective. You're listening to part 2 of 2 with our interview with Raf, a.k.a. Raffy Fat Fingers. He's a member of the community and a good friend of Will's. They go back years and years. And we're joining Raf as he continues his thoughts and discussion into his gaming history. So tune in and give a listen as we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff from Nintendo 64 all the way up into some of the more modern games, including some Battlefield stories and other greatness. We really appreciate Raf taking the time to speak with us for nearly 2.5 hours, and we hope that you enjoy the interview as much as we did. It was an absolute blast chatting with Raf and learning all about how he became a gamer. Don't forget to check us out on the web, www.WDGRPodcast.com. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at WDGRPodcast. You can follow me personally at ScionStorm. You can follow Will at Will_Gear. And thanks for listening. We appreciate it. And we'll be back next week with an original episode. See ya.
Any other 64 games worth mentioning?
Pokemon Snap, I guess.
Oh my god, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
Well,
but that's it. I don't think I played it that much. Just like the kind of staples of
the 64.
Yeah.
I heard Stadium was good. Pokemon Stadium.
I don't think I ever played it. I mean,
yeah, it was supposed to be really good.
I played, the Game Boy and played Pokemon Blue on that, but I think those hooked up, but I'm not sure.
I don't know anything about Pokemon really, so
gotta collect them all.
Yeah,
Pokemon
Boo.
I've tried Pokemon, and I think if I was like 2.5 years younger, I would have been more into it.
Mm.
Yeah, it definitely aims for the much younger demographic. Although I
don't think it's that. I think it aimed for a demographic that I was just outside of when it originally came out.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had started playing it when I was younger, I'd probably be really into it still. But because I didn't
catch that train.
Yeah, because I didn't get caught by them all. I just it's too late,
That's fair.
Yeah. They did discover something really cool in the original Red and Blue Pokemons. So you know how Mew was this like 151st Pokemon, not in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you can get him is if, like, you go to this Nintendo event and they trade him to you.
I think so.
And the other way is like a Game Shark. So they found out, I think it was like the speedrunning community, they found out you can manipulate which Pokemon you're about to fight in the wild. Like, there's like hexadecimal code or something in it.
Really?
And they're like, if you do this and this, you get this code, and then if you do this other thing, you flip it, and if you flip it to Mew's code, then the next battle you fight is a Mew. So you can actually get him in the game without any like cheats or anything.
That kind of stuff is fascinating, like those discoveries that people just, find.
Yeah, and like 20 years later.
Yeah.
It's
amazing.
like,
what was the thought process behind going down that road? Like, was it an accident, or did you like wake up one day and be like, I'm just gonna fucking break the game and figure this out?
Yeah.
Well, I think the person was messing around with the game trying to break it in weird ways, but
Yeah.
and then he discovered he could manipulate the auto battles and then mapped out all the different Pokemon and they're like the code that corresponds with them. And then was like, wait, this is Mew. Can I get this? Oh my god.
Dude, I remember linking up with other kids on the school bus with Game Boys and fighting each other.
That must have been so cool.
It was, like literally like sitting on a school bus seat, and then you got your friend on the other seat, and you're just linked up with a cable, physical cable, and you're fighting somebody's Bulbasaurus or whatever. Don't open that door, Raf.
Okay.
Don't open it,
Squirtle, go!
Why did it? Of course, I went with Bulbasaurus.
It's okay.
That's got to be an episode title right there, fighting someone else's Bulbasaurus.
I know. I'm still kind of mad that we didn't go with the vegan Bloodborne satchel, whatever the fuck it was.
Bloodborne's so good. Only game I've ever 100%ed.
There was a lot of people that wanted to platinum that game. Is there a particular reason why? I know you get like a theme.
I don't even remember that part.
Yeah, pretty sure there's a theme.
Honestly, like I did it just because I really loved the game. And I think I had 3 save files at the time. Like I already beat it once, and then I got kind of far in a New Game Plus, which I wasn't intending to, but I just like started playing and didn't stop for a while. And then I was looking through my achievements for it one day, which again, another thing I never do, so I'm not quite sure why I did it. And I'm missing only like a couple. Like how close am I to 100%ing this thing? So I looked up the different trophies, and it was like I have to get a couple of items, which I could just run to and get, and then get 2 more endings. And I'm like, well, I'm really close to beating it on a normal game on another save, and I'm really close to beating it on New Game Plus on another save. So I'm like, whatever, let's just do it. So I spent like another 5 hours or so, and I platinumed the thing.
Which system was this on?
PlayStation
4
or 3, 4, yeah. Yeah, well, it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive, I think, actually.
Yep.
Yeah,
it is.
But yeah, I remember Tom in his interview said that was the only game he platinumed, and I was like, me too!
Yeah, a lot of people have. My buddy Miles, who listens to the show too, he platinumed that game.
It's like an exclusive club or something.
Yeah, it's just like there's a lot of people I know personally that have done it.
I've never even played the damn thing.
Oh, it's fucking
so
tough,
good.
dude. So tough.
Yeah. The first level gave me a ton of trouble, and I was coming off of Dark Souls 2 at the time.
Yeah, same.
So like I was kind of quote unquote ready for it, but the speed of it was just very, very different. So
Very.
yeah, and now
Visceral combat.
Not now, but like a couple of hours into playing it, I would go back into the first level and I would just decimate everyone there. I'm like, I don't know how I got hit here before. This is ridiculously easy.
That's the
That's
magic
crazy.
of video games.
Yeah, that's really a game where like it clicks, but when it clicks, it's very obvious to the player.
Yes.
You really are like, I get it now. I'm not a baby.
Yeah, there's like a cadence. There's like a sequence of what
Like
you
a
should
rhythm?
be doing. Yeah,
Like a
very
rhythm?
much so.
It's like how I imagine learning how to walk is. It's like, why was I doing this other thing?
Because you're a baby and you don't know any better.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it sounds like you've exhausted the 64, kind of circling back to your timeline. What comes after that?
After that, again, I have an older brother, so he got most of these systems, but he got the Dreamcast next.
Yes!
Yeah,
Mm.
which we had a lot of fun with that, and he got the Sonic game to start because that was like the release game, which was okay. Had that weird Tamagotchi thing, which whatever. It was a gorgeous game, I will say.
Yeah.
And then Power Stone, and then the better Power Stone 2. Those games were fantastic.
Nice.
Especially the second one. It had just like so much more content. It had a lot of items, which the only bad thing about that was like to get the items was I think random drops. So
wouldn't
like we
remember.
heard, yeah, we heard there's like these cool
one,
things like Mega Man arms, which we never got, but very fun game and gorgeous.
Mm.
yeah, those both of those games were a ton of fun, and man, I feel like the Dreamcast was built for Capcom.
100%.
Yeah,
You know,
it was.
Like that system was like Capcom went up to Sega and were like, "Hey, we want to put all of our arcade games on a console, and we think you could do it best." And it did.
And your favorite Street Fighter was out for Dreamcast at one point, right? Alpha 3?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was Alpha 3, and then they did Double Strike and Third Strike.
Now, is that the arcade perfect version of Alpha 3?
No, but it's not for the wrong reasons. They added so much shit to the game to make it more robust, and they added characters that weren't in the arcade.
I see.
And there's like this world tour mode, and like you can like create a character and kind of like, you know, it'll be like on the template of Ken, but you can like change like the stats of it. It's weird. Like there's a lot of like shit you can do in that game outside of the regular fighting realm.
Okay.
So not an arcade perfect game because it just goes in so many different directions that the arcade doesn't go in.
I see.
Yeah, that game was fantastic. Then they also had Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on that, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And was it Marvel vs. X-Men? Pretty sure
It was X-Men. Let's see here. So they did X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Street Fighter, and then Marvel versus Capcom.
Maybe it was Marvel versus Street Fighter. I'm thinking of them.
I don't
know if that ever came out for Dreamcast though.
Stand by.
I want to say we rented that thinking it was Marvel vs. Capcom, and we're very disappointed. And there was like like a cyborg Akuma, and I'm like, what is this?
Huh.
Yeah, it was a really weird game. It kind of just it didn't do very well, and it was in and out of arcades very quickly. It was only put out for the arcade, the PlayStation, and the Saturn.
Which
Must
one
have
was
been the
this?
PlayStation then.
Marvel versus Street Fighter.
Oh, I see. Yeah, actually, I have that now that I think about it.
You have Marvel versus Street Fighter?
Yeah, I have it for Saturn.
Yeah. So wait, did we try it when you had everybody over?
No, because that was the one that that came in after.
Right. Okay. So it wasn't here in time.
Yes, it was the only one that didn't come on time because it was coming from Japan.
Have you played it yet?
Nope.
It's not bad. Like you're gonna like X-Men vs. Street Fighter better.
Yeah.
But it's a very, I think it's a historical game because it's like that next step in the franchise.
We should load it up on Monday.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking
In
why
between
not?
the grapes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
This game is delicious.
Oh yeah, look at that beautiful art.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss that art.
Oh,
They
really
don't do
do.
that anymore.
they don't, man. The
And that's
guy that
more
was
akin
doing
to
it.
the Street Fighter Alpha art too.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, definitely. But yeah, the guy that was doing it, I think it's Bengus was his like nickname. I don't know if he's still around, and if he is, I just don't know if this style is, his thing anymore.
I'm gonna try and get a snapshot of Cyber Akuma for you.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know
God.
if I've seen this.
It's not gonna be pleasant.
Okay. Oh gosh, that's wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems kind of half-assed too, in a way. Like it just.
Well, the blocking on the character portraits isn't very good. So, like, if you look at Blue Ryu, right behind him is Blue Akuma. But the way the blocking is, like, he's like basically, like, if you don't look closely, you can't tell. Like, they don't stagger the portraits.
No,
You know?
no, you're right.
So that's kind of really the problem. But this might be the PlayStation version, which was like, if I recall correctly, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
PS1 versions of some of these games are notoriously just failures.
Oh yeah, like X-Men vs. Street Fighter on the PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh,
Mm-hmm.
really, really rough.
Never played it, but I heard it was just terrible.
Avoid at all costs.
Completely watered down.
So what other Dreamcast games were like what speaks to you about that system? Because I could talk about that fucking system all day, man.
Well, this is our first Dead or Alive game. I think it was Dead or Alive 2, which was pretty fun. It was a 3D fighter, kind of like Tekken.
Okay.
So that was really cool. And then the Soul Edge, Soul Calibur 2. I think all three of those went out on Dreamcast, but those were
only Soul Calibur 1.
Only Soul Calibur 1. Okay.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had, I think this is one of the launch games too, Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that game had a lot of energy.
Yes. Plenty.
Yeah, so it was fun, but like it got old somewhat quickly.
That game was like the Offspring soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yes.
Game.
that got annoying real quick.
Then they had Jet Set Radio. That game I was not good at the controls, so it was quite difficult, but that game was so cool. Like the art style again.
Very original.
Very unique, very gorgeous, like the graffiti art. Yeah, that's a game a lot of people I think loved, but I don't know if they did a sequel or I think they did, but it wasn't that good.
It was on the Xbox, Jet Set Radio Future.
Yeah.
I remember that now.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. I think Vic has it actually. I have to pick his brain. I haven't really played much of it, but yeah, I think the first one was really where the money was, you know.
Yeah, and that had a fantastic soundtrack.
Yes.
It did. Yeah, and then Shenmue, that was a interesting game because it was
Very
very different from everything, and like it was very monotonous.
It was in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but we're playing it, and it's like, am I having fun right now? Not really, but I'm intrigued. I need to know what happens. And then, like, one of the best parts of that game is you're racing around on like a little forklift.
Oh yeah. Yep, I totally remember that.
Yeah, and you do it numerous times, and it's like we were always looking forward to racing in those, and like, it's so random. And then like the best part of the game is like the last 20 minutes maybe where you actually get to like, you know, you've been like training a little bit in some martial arts in the beginning of the game and throughout the game, and like there are these very like tutorialized things like you do this, and you never get to use it, and then the end of the game comes and you fight like a gauntlet of dudes, and you're like, finally I get to like kung fu people. And it's like, God, this game's so good now, and then it ends.
Maybe that's why people were yearning for like a sequel or whatever.
Oh, 100%.
For so long.
Because it's like, what do you mean this guy gets away? What the hell?
Did you end up picking up the sequels?
Nope. No. It's because I remember the first parts of that game, and like they took so long. I was like, I didn't enjoy playing the first parts of that game. I don't want to spend like 10 hours going through that again.
Yeah.
And like they already did that cliffhanger thing once, so I'm like, there's definitely going to be a third game. Right. Lo and behold.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact that you asked yourself, like, am I having fun is usually kind of a red flag.
Yeah, exactly. But then after that game, this game, it was awesome. Sword of the Berserk, Gutsu's Rage.
Oh yeah. Yes. That is a gem of a game. Yeah,
that was like a hack and slash, kind of Dark Souls-ish in a way, because it wasn't an easy game.
No.
It was graphic.
Very graphic and super hard to find now.
Yeah. My brother, I believe, actually beat the game. Which I don't know what the save systems were like. I think there was like limited lives or something. But that game was really cool. And we didn't know at the time that it was based off manga.
Yeah.
But I don't know anyone who had it besides us.
Yeah, it was, I think, kind of short-lived too. Like the way that it was released, it just kind of came out and then just got phased out kind of quickly, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, which is impressive because the system was only alive for like a year.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. I always said the Dreamcast burned hot and bright, you know?
It did.
Yeah.
A very, very powerful system with some incredible games that, you know, didn't last. The system just wasn't on the earth long enough, in my opinion.
It's a really good way to define it. It's almost like a shooting star, just
kind of.
You got to catch it, and the people that caught it did, and they loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one who got Dreamcast really that we know that is like, the system sucked. Like, no, they had some really cool games.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I can't think of anybody who's spoken negatively about the system.
Yeah. But alas, it died, unfortunately. Pirating.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But then the PlayStation 2 came out after that. That system was
powerful, man.
Yeah, that had so many good games. And I have my little list of games that I played for it, and I'm pretty sure this was a PlayStation 2 game, but I didn't write it down. Zone of the Enders.
Mm-hmm.
That game. Oh my god. That thing was so cool.
That was like a mech combat kind of game, right?
Yeah, mech combat in space.
Yeah, it's like Kojima, right?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is. I want to say I played like a remastered version of it, and it came with Metal Gear Rising, I want to say. Like there was like a demo for it or something. I can't really remember, but I remember playing a small portion of it, and I was not really into it, but it looked really cool.
It is a Kojima joint.
Yeah, it's not an easy game to get into. It's not very you can't just drop into it and play it. It's not that arcadey.
I noticed that.
Yeah, and it's very story heavy, so if you're not in the story, it's not as fun. But it was a cool game, definitely. Had a very unique feel. You weren't thinking like, oh, this is like Gundam or anything like Transformery or anything like that. It was its own thing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Let me see what else we have here. Final Fantasy X. I do love that game.
Talk to us about that game.
Yeah, was that online?
No, that's 11, which was also on PlayStation 2, but I played that on PC. Final Fantasy X was with the blonde guy, Titus, where he gets like dropped in a different world than where he's from. It had Blitzball, which is a really fun game. It had crazy cutscenes.
Blitzball is a very divisive game, I think, in the RPG community. Some people either love it or hate it.
Well, there's always somebody who's wrong.
Well, so like I don't have any experience with it either way. Like, what about that side game like was fun to you? Like, what did you enjoy about it? And was it the kind of thing that kind of kept you from completing the story, or did you like kind of mix it up and do a little bit of both? Or
I definitely mixed it up and did a little bit of both, because the Blitzball, it was fun, but it wasn't like I guess I could compare it probably to like Triple Triad in Final Fantasy VIII. Like it's a fun game by its own, but it's limited in what you can do. There's not like tournaments for it, and and once you get to the highest level of it, you just destroy everyone. But there's a way to build up to that highest level, so that was fun to do. You get to do certain things. You unlock this trick shot, which I don't know if you remember the opening cutscene where he's in the water, he's playing Blitzball, and then the bad guy's like coming to destroy the whole town. And he like jumps out of the water to do an upside down kick and sees this monster, so he stops the kick. So that's a move you can actually learn to do in the game.
Oh, okay.
But it's like an automatic goal.
Jeez.
Yeah. So is there a mod when you do that move, does somebody yell goal every single time?
Oh no.
Now there must be. Or there's a goose that comes out. I don't know.
Oh, a goose.
Honk.
Did you realize there was a remaster for FF10?
Yeah.
I think they have now one for like all the modern ones. Because I have 12 remastered on my Switch, I believe. And they also have 8 remastered, which 8 I think is a super underrated Final Fantasy. I think people didn't like it as much because 7 was so good and this was so different.
I could speak to that because I was really into Final Fantasy 7 and I was super excited for 8, and then I played 8 and it wasn't 7 and I was very disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And being a teenager, I didn't fucking know any better and somebody should just smack me in the face.
Yeah.
So
we stuck with 8, and it is amongst my favorite Final Fantasies. Like
Yeah. It's on my my must play list. It's for consideration for the 12 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the mechanics are very weird because as you level up, the enemies level up.
Okay.
So, like, for example, Omega Weapon, the hardest boss in the game. I'm gonna get the numbers wrong, but if you go to him at like a low level, like 10 or whatever, he'll have like 2 million life. If you go to him at level 100, he'll have like 2 billion life.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's scaling. So that's why like you'll fight bosses and you beat a boss and you won't gain any experience for beating a boss. You'll get something else for like your ability points or whatever.
Hmm.
But we're like, why is that a thing? And then we got the guide and we're like, there's a literal table for every enemy and boss in the game with
I'm
their
not
stats
surprised.
based on level. Yeah, it's nuts.
Well, Drew, now you can play the remastered version of 8.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, I mean, I have the the PlayStation release.
So I would say go with the remasters because they typically have the fast forward buttons.
Yeah, not only that, but I think like the idea of playing it on my Switch is super appealing, considering how much I'm enjoying playing Octopath on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how mobile it is.
It's a great
Right.
RPG machine.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind getting hunkering down with a copy of FF9 again too. I really enjoyed that one when that came out.
That was a really good game.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind circling back to that.
That was one of my least favorite Final Fantasy.
Huh, really?
Yeah, I didn't click with any of the characters except for like Vivi. I loved Vivi, but other than that, I was just like, eh.
I mean, I don't remember what it was about that game. I used to get kicked in the head a lot when I was younger, so I have like gaps of my memory. You laugh, but it's true. Like I remember playing that game. I remember being completely enthralled with it. But if you ask me, like the character names, I don't even remember them.
Yeah, I mean, the game came out so long ago.
Yeah,
Zidane, Vivi, and that's it. That's all I remember.
That's two more than I had.
Yeah, I did beat it eventually, though. I will say that. So I did at least give it the full shake.
Okay.
It was years after release, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, 10 was just I liked it. I liked the characters. I didn't play any of the sequels like 10-2, and I don't know if they made it 10-3 or whatever. 10-2, I think it was just the girls, and you would like change your dress to change your class.
I don't know.
But
Maybe.
I hear it was actually pretty good. If you can get over that part.
I'll have to check it out. It's I have the remaster for the PS3. So one of these days I'll have to fire that up.
So what was the online Final Fantasy for PS2? Was there only one?
It's Final Fantasy 11.
11.
Because there's only 2 Final Fantasy MMOs. There's 11 and 14, which is like the modern one.
I see.
11 is the difficult game. You could literally, if you die, you will lose experience, so you can actually de-level.
What?
Oh yeah, and it's like it sucks as you get to level 10, you're like, all right, finally, I could leave this beginner zone. I can go to this other area, and I could finally start like partying up with people and like getting into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you die once, and then you're back to level 9, and they're like, all right, well, you can't be here anymore.
Holy shit!
And then you have to like run 30 minutes back to like the beginner town.
It's like getting kicked out of a party, like literally.
Dude, it's very rough, that game. And like after level 10, so you have to run through. You're from the beginning town. You run through a whole map of this other area that you don't want to be in because there's nothing there like you can kill. So you have to run away from monsters who will like two-shot you for like 15-20 minutes to get to this other zone, and then there you could start partying. And you can't actually kill anything by yourself anymore at this point. It's all party based. Everything's based around you being in a full party with a healer, a tank, like 2 other damage dealers. So a lot of the times you're actually just sitting there for hours, like spamming like, oh, samurai looking for party, monk looking for party.
Ugh.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
It made it a good college game actually. So like one of my friends played it way longer than us, and he'd be doing like papers, so he'd be in front of the computer for like hours, and he would just wait to get a party and write his papers in the meantime. So It worked out that way, but oh my god, that thing was such a time sink. It did not respect your time at all.
Well, it's like Dark Souls. Remember the days of just putting down your summon sign, and then you're just like having a full conversation with somebody in a party, or just like you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna go make a sandwich, come back, you're still waiting.
Yep. Yeah, that had issues.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what else for PS2?
Well, the Gran Turismo games. We played a lot of those.
Very challenging learning curve with those.
Yeah, and like, it had some actual car engineering in it, so you can change the wheel ratio or whatever, something ratio.
And you can change all the ratios.
Yeah, so you can make your acceleration faster, your top speed lower, and all this stuff. Which we're like, we're 12. I don't know what this is.
We're 12.
I just want to go fast. I got the big souped up Toyota, like the Pikes Peak version or whatever, and it was so fast you could literally just slam into the wall constantly and beat everyone because it was a rally vehicle. So if you were off road, it didn't matter. But yeah.
So, I mean, you haven't really talked about racing games too much up to this point, so it's kind of a strange pivot. Like, were you always into racing games, or?
I mean, like Super Nintendo, we played Mario Kart. That was really fun. That was a good multiplayer game. Like the racing games, besides Gran Turismo, were very like multiplayer focused, I think.
Okay.
You can get a good group of friends together and race and either fight each other or try to beat the computer. One game I forgot to mention for an N64 was actually Rush 64.
Okay.
That game was one of our favorites because you can unlock cars. There was like this weird rainbow like trick course. So it was like a black sky. It's kind of like Rainbow Road in the Mario Kart series, but like an actual course that was colored that way. And you had to do these like crazy jumps to get these. It was a Mountain Dew can. That was one of the collectible items. I forget what the other collectibles were, but like if you got all the Mountain Dew cans in every level in the game, it unlocked a Mountain Dew car.
Yeah, that's a good point, Drew. Because Gran Turismo is in a lot of ways kind of like Flight Simulator 19 for PC. Like it's pretty fucking intense. Like,
oh yeah,
the learning curve is very real.
Those games are no joke. Like I've tried to get into them, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah, it's advanced.
And I just inevitably just shut them off and run away.
And they have insane things like rally races and that. It's like, I'm not going to sit here for 4 hours in one race.
Oh, yeah. God.
Yeah, they did that. My cousin did one of those, and I'm like, you're crazy.
Forza does that for one of them. There's like a 12-hour race or something.
I could see that.
Ugh.
I just, no.
You get some dudes that probably just put on a fucking helmet in the living room. I want the full effect, bro.
Got a pee bag.
I got a buddy who he's really into rally racing, and he actually used to drive a rally car, or some kind of a car. I mean, if he's listening to this episode, he's shaking his head at me and telling me like I'm a fucking idiot. But he built the setup for a PC game, and he literally has like a bucket seat from a racing car and 3 monitors surrounding it with like a legit like racing cockpit.
That's dope.
It's got the spot for the gear shifter. He's got a 3-pedal setup with a clutch and everything, and it's like this thing is legit. Like you're basically in a car without wheels.
That is very cool. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll have to dig up a picture of it for you because it's the real deal.
Yeah, please do.
It just doesn't move.
It doesn't move.
It doesn't move. But like I've always had an appreciation for people that can like get into a game like that level, because now you're going from gaming to simulation.
Yep.
And I feel like that's like a whole nother world,
It is. It's a different type of gaming.
And it's not for me, but like I have to respect it,
You have to. All those guys that buy those steering wheels and like screw them onto the desk and all that shit.
It's so much work, and like the flight simulator guys especially.
Oh God,
Jesus.
Yeah, because they have to get like radar readings. They have to have all these switches. They have to get like real map data. So apparently Microsoft is releasing something, or it's like an early access or something where it does like real life diagnostics of like the weather wherever you are.
Whoa. Yeah, it's such a dad thing to have like a flight simulator. A dad in a basement, like, hey, buddy, come check this out.
There's actual pilots who use that to like train, and people who are getting their licenses to train too. It's for sure. It's insane.
Have you guys ever seen the YouTube videos of the guy who's in there as a master control operator? Like, because you can actually be a master control operator, not a master control operator, like flight control operator, excuse me. And he's like coordinating, like which flights could take off and which ones can't, because like if you try to take off of a runway at the same time as somebody else does, it crashes your plane.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can play like the position of being an actual flight control operator, coordinating which planes can take off, which runways are taxiing from, and all this stuff. And it's full on. And this guy is like, he's hilarious because like people just kind of take off at will, and he like yells at them and makes them wait.
I would probably just die of anxiety, like watching or playing anything like that.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
So there's actually subscription services where like some of these pilots who are training, they actually pay people through these services to be a flight operator, to tell them like, no, you can't go. All right, now you can go. This is clear.
Holy shit!
Go here. Yeah, it's intense.
That's crazy.
They get into it.
Yeah. Well, it's easier to practice at home than it is in the sky.
Yeah, but that's still like very passionate.
Yeah, it's really cool that they do that.
That's awesome.
Oh man, I gotta look up this. I gotta look up this video for you guys for later.
Yes.
It is quite funny. So let's see here. So we've kind of gone over the PS2, and now we're starting to get into like the modern genre or modern era of gaming.
Yeah, like we never had a GameCube really. I think I borrowed it at one point for Resident Evil 4 because that game's great, and it was a different style than 1, 2, and 3, which more horror. 4 was a little bit more accessible to me.
Yes.
But we got the PlayStation 3, and that was a great system. It had, I think that this is when you started getting more like indie games, or like smaller games on the systems too. Like Journey, for example.
Yep.
Took me a while to play that game, but holy shit, that game is amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad you feel that way.
It's only like a 4-hour game too, so
super short.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if anyone's listening and they're at all interested in playing this game, just set aside like 4 or 5 hours at most and go through it in one sitting, in my opinion.
You have to.
And be connected to the online, because there's some online functionality that, it does it without you even knowing that it's a thing, really. Like people just show up in your world and you can't really talk to them. You're not in the same party. You don't even know what like their gamer tag or anything. You can make a noise and like twirl at them, and that's it.
Yeah. And you think it's like like a bot or like just a NPC or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you're just going through this world with them and like kind of helping each other out. It's such a cool experience. And I think experience is the best way to really describe it. So I'm not going to give more away because, again, if anyone hasn't played it, they really should. They really, really should. Let's see. Mass Effect.
Ooh.
Yeah, so actually I beat the first one on PC.
Okay. Well, because the PlayStation 3 didn't get them until 2, right?
I believe so, yeah. I think
Mass Effect 1, I don't believe was ever released for the PlayStation 3.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think I think all they did was have like you start Mass Effect 2 and it was a thing of like, what would you have done for this choice? What would you have done for that choice?
Well, they baked those types of things into the game, just in case like there was a player who, had never played Mass Effect.
Yeah.
But if you were able to import your save, then that was definitely the way to go.
Yeah, definitely. But that game was very, very good. So I got to the end of 2, and like I had a lot of fun with the game, but I didn't like all the characters, so I didn't do all the loyalty missions.
Mm.
And my roommate was behind me watching, and like everybody died.
Oh no.
On the assault of the final ship, it was like, you're seeing like everyone do stuff, and like this person gets blown up over here, that person gets shot over here, that person gets crushed over here, and then they're like, hey, that character? That character's just dead. They didn't even show that person dying for me. They just told me that he just died somewhere. Like, Jesus Christ.
That's horrible.
Yeah. I will say, I think this is 2. Grunt, right? Because Rex was not in 2 except for as a NPC. But I was so disappointed with him because I saw the commercials for Mass Effect 2, and when they showed Grunt, they were like, Sonny Tuchanka. And I was like, that is a great name. And then it's like, no, his name's Grunt. And I'm like, that's stupid. That's so stupid.
They're talking about his homeworld, right?
Yeah, Tuchanka's the planet that they're from, and it's just a sunny planet. I was like, come on, Sonny Tuchanka would have been a great name.
That sounds like a bad porn name.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Or like Jackie Chan's like cousin or some shit.
Sonny Tuchanka. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, those games are great. Then we played a lot of Street Fighter 4 on PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Right? Or was that Xbox?
That was Xbox.
Or was it? Why I'm thinking PlayStation 3? Because I got we all got the fight sticks, right?
Yep.
And we played it at my brother's too, and he only had a PlayStation 3. So I was like, I need a fight stick that I can use on both. And Mad Catz at the time did not make that. They made one or the other.
Oh, this is a good story.
Yeah, so there was this I think it was Chinese company, Quamba, and they made one that like you could switch between PC, PS3, and Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And it was called the Quamba Raf. So I was like, all right, well, this is perfect.
What are the fucking chances of that? Dude, I remember you were so pumped about getting that. Like, you showed pictures, and you're like, dude, it's got my fucking name on it.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even have to pay for that part.
Yeah.
It took a while to come, though, because I don't know why they shipped it this way, but they went through, like, it was like China to Russia to Alaska through Canada. I'm like, what the hell? It took over like a month.
I remember that, man. And I want to pivot off for a second here. Let's just kind of tune in to that part of our gaming lives there, like Street Fighter 4, Mortal Kombat 9. That was a huge highlight of what we were playing at the time.
Yeah, we played that for a long, long time, and I think that's how I met. Vic, actually.
Probably.
Online. Yeah, he was good. He made me believe Cammy was an overpowered character, and like the pros were like, no, Cammy's garbage, and then one of the pros switched to Cammy for like half a tournament and just like steamrolled everybody. I'm like, I told you.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, he is just ridiculous with Cammy and Ryu and a few other characters, but definitely those two.
Yeah, I'm like,
I
couldn't even get better at it playing against him because the way like how quickly Cammy moved, I'm like, I don't even know how to begin to counter this because like every move he would do, which is just like a constant barrage of different things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, that's safe. How do I stop this?
Exactly.
Like I literally can't counter. So
yeah, very difficult character, especially with him behind the controller.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if I was behind the controller, it'd be easy.
Yeah, you have the fight stick upside down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, those were fun times, man. I remember we had a lot of fun with Mortal Kombat 9 as well.
Yeah, that had a good lobby system.
Very good lobby system.
Like go through people. I do remember playing one of your friends on he got a little passive aggressive.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, I forget who it was, but I was playing Striker. So I just keep shooting the pistol at him. He would jump and I would just lob a grenade.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was like texting me like privately. He's like, dude, I can't play against your buddy. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's like you only use like one move. And I'm like, all right, but if somebody used one move, I think I'd be able to counter that.
Yeah, I think I remember him like mouthing some stuff off in the party too, and it was nothing like bad. It was just like, dude, like you're doing the same move over and over again, and you were just like, yeah, so stop me.
Yeah.
Stop me then. Find a way to stop me. And it was like, it was easier said than done, obviously, but like there's always a way. But like you just had this knack of like, it was like Cody in Street Fighter 4. You'd throw like the little rocks.
Oh, fuck Cody.
And it would be like, and I was just like, oh my fucking God, dude, I'm going to kill myself before I kill Raf.
I forgot about that. But yeah, it's like telling Guile not to do the sonic booms and then kick you when you get close. It's like, that's what this character does. That's all he's got.
That's like the strategy. That's how you play. That's how you guile.
You got to exploit that stuff sometimes. And sure, it's annoying, but there's always a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that game was cool. It was like the whole Mortal Kombat resurgence.
Yeah, that was a huge game, and Drew's going to be playing that one soon.
Yeah, I have a copy on the 360, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the self-titled one, right?
Yes.
The story mode is really, really, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hear. So at some point I'm going to throw it back in and check it out. I was playing Mortal Kombat 10 for a little while, and that was fun too, but I wasn't really feeling the story mode. It's kind of...
I hear that a lot from people because it's like the combat kids. I never actually played 10. I played 9 and 11.
Okay.
Which 11's really good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, from what I played of 10, like, it was well done. But, I don't know.
I hear they shifted the focus a little bit, or not the focus, but the, like 9 was a little bit more fun, whereas 10 was a little bit more serious.
Maybe that's what it is. It does feel like a very serious game.
Yeah, and then 11 kind of goes back towards how 9 was.
Okay.
Yeah, 9 was a really special game.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. And then they did the crazy DLC characters.
Oh, and they were all amazing. Like, they were all like, I mean, I think Freddy Krueger was one of them, right?
Yeah. I think it was like Freddy.
They had Terminator. They had there's a whole bunch of them. All the horror characters, like the 1980s, like cinema characters.
Yeah.
You know, it was like that kind of era. Like they were trying to make all of them. I remember because Ronda Rousey was involved in 11.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And she was in WWE at the time when that game came out. So naturally, WWE is plugging like pre-orders for the game and stuff. And they were talking about how I think you get like a T1000 if you pre-order or some shit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
She's terrible, by the way. Like, people talked about how bad she was. I was like, how can you be that bad? Like, you just have to read a line. It can't be that bad. I played the game. I'm like, oh my God. Every time you talk, it's just like, hello, I'm Sonya.
Oh no.
Like, it's so monotone and boring and
Oh man.
yeah, it was not good.
I remember getting so hyped, dude, like when we would watch the trailers for like new DLC characters for MK9. They were so good. Like those little trailers, because it would show like, you know, the character, whether it was like fucking Rain or whoever, and then they would show gameplay. And whoever was doing the gameplay videos was just obviously really good at the game. So it really sold you on whatever character was coming out.
Yeah, and the game itself is so cinematic that like it just naturally flowed. Like they weren't just making up videos of the characters doing random things that aren't in the game. It's like, no, the whole gameplay experience is kind of like the smooth video.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Huh. I have to check that out.
Yeah, those were fun times. We all had fight sticks, like Raf said. We were all playing those two games. I remember getting like Tekken versus Street Fighter.
Uh-huh.
And that was disappointing, right, Raf?
Yeah, like I think I got it, but I can't even remember.
I think we did. Like, we got it on release. I think I remember going and I had the game pre-ordered, and I went to a midnight release for that game, and I think there was like a Call of Duty or something. Some huge game was coming out the same night, and I was the only one there for Street Fighter Cross Tekken or whatever the fuck it was. And the guy like looked at me. He's like, "Dude, really? Like, you came here at midnight for this fucking thing?" And I was like, "Yep." Got home, remember playing it with you, Raf, and we were like really hyped about it at the time, and then it just fizzled out so quickly.
Yeah, it didn't stick at all. It was again kind of boring. I actually got the big guide for that thing.
Yeah, I think I did too.
I have a gigantic Street Fighter box set for the PlayStation 3, and I think it included a copy of that game. I don't think I played it once.
Yeah, the formula didn't work.
Yeah. And then they were supposed to come out with Tekken Cross Street Fighter, and I don't think they ever did.
They didn't.
They just abandoned it, right?
I think they did.
I mean, they added Street Fighter characters into the Tekken series, and apparently that did work out really well. And I hear this last Tekken's probably the best Tekken.
Which one is this?
7.
I don't know what number. Is it 7?
I think it's 7.
Yeah, it's got to be 7. 8 at the highest. There's no way we're at 9.
Yeah, but I hear really good things.
If it's 7, I think 7 just came out as Games with Gold this month.
That's cool.
I'm pretty sure it's a free game.
I think you're right, yeah.
Well.
But they have like Akuma in it and, with fireballs, and they're like, no, they balanced it well.
I don't believe you. But I'm going to have to check that out because...
I believe it. I mean, I've played other games that had the same style and they had fireballs, and you just sidestep it.
It's not even that. It's just... I don't want to say I don't like crossover games because I think like X-Men vs. Street Fighter is fucking brilliant, right? And Marvel vs. Capcom is great.
Mm-hmm.
Capcom vs. SNK turned out awesome too. But like why are they putting like fucking, Akuma in Tekken, or why are they putting like, Yoda in Soul Calibur, or shit like that? Like, why do they do that? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Make a Star Wars... Dude, what they should have done was, like, I can go on a whole rant, but they should have just made a Star Wars fighting game using the Soul Calibur fighting engine rather than putting Yoda in this fucking game. So, like, if a crossover makes sense and you're building an engine from, like, the ground up to make it work, like, I think that's awesome. But if you're taking a character from another series and pigeonholing it into a series or a genre that it's never been a part of, like, for me that's a little rough, like why would you do that?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some weird mashups, and Raf, I just suddenly remembered remember the DLC like scandal that was happening with Street Fighter Cross Tekken? Remember I remember you getting like really upset because there were characters that were on disc or something.
Yeah, that was horseshit.
Yeah, tell us about that.
There's like 5 characters on the actual disc that were like the next 5 DLC characters. So you already bought the code with them on it. And they're like finished. And then they made you pay money to unlock that.
Mm-hmm.
That's garbage.
Yeah, I think that's what started a lot of that, right? Like I remember that was kind of the beginning of that movement of those kind of situations happening.
Yeah, like the predatory DLC type stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is this Jedi Power Battles?
You remember that?
Is that the fighting game?
Yeah, this was a horrible game that came out on PS1. And,
I was going to say, that looks like PS1 art.
Yeah,
Princess Leia had a lightsaber, didn't she?
I don't know. But I remember this being terrible. But you mentioned something in that little piece that you shared there, Drew, and it made me think of this. Well, you said you wanted to see a like a Star Wars game that was in Soul Calibur format, right?
Yeah.
This is far from that.
No, this is it.
This is the opposite.
This is the opposite. But here you go.
If you do this and then hold it like a Polish person,
then maybe you get something a little bit close.
Yeah. Oh God, hold it like a Polish person. Oh my God. So we've gone over the PS3 era, so now we're kind of caught up to current. Like I know you have an Xbox, I know you have a PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a Switch?
Yes, I do.
All right, so you've got all 3 platforms. What are you playing these days?
Well, let me see. Where's my little list?
Oh boy.
Yeah, again, my brain is a little scattered, so
we all need remarkables.
Yeah. So
God damn it, Will, I'm still getting ads for that shit.
Dude, your computer's going to hear
just
me.
Get his phone.
Yeah, it's going to hear my voice and just send you another ad.
Great.
So I started Jedi Fallen Order on the PC because I have that Origin Access thing. So
Okay.
I was like, I heard good things, and then I heard Joe talk about it, but I decided to play it nonetheless. Spoiler: Joe's not a fan.
Yeah, we saw that.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play. He's like, okay, have fun wasting your time.
So, what is your opinion on it?
Well, I've only played like an hour or two of it, and it starts out like it's interesting. Gorgeous graphics. Character, I thought he'd be very boring, but like I'm intrigued with his whole whatever's happening.
Okay.
And the first section is you're kind of hiding out, but you're a Jedi, so you're doing this platforming because they know like, oh, he's agile, so let's send him to fix something. Eventually they discover you're a Jedi, you have to get away, you go to a planet, start discovering things, and the gameplay is like, I mean, the fighting seems okay, and it's, looks like it's well done.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure it's like clicking with me.
Okay.
Like, I'm beating the enemies and it's fine. It's not hard or anything. Except for this one thing that's like, you're definitely not supposed to kill this thing yet, so it like two-shots you. But it does feel like I'm missing something. Kind of like Nier Automata.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm not sure if it's me, because this isn't normally my type of game, or if it's the game. From what I hear, like in Nier, it was the game. And in this, it's very much the same thing. Like, everybody keeps comparing it to Sekiro, but like Sekiro is very deliberate and finely tuned, whereas this is like a step below that, so it doesn't quite click. But it's all right. I'm having fun with it. I'll probably keep playing it a little bit more. I do hear the middle's unpolished and buggy and not as interesting. And the end apparently is a little bit more polished and interesting again, but we'll see. I just had an inkling to play it, so I did.
Yeah, it looks good. It probably looks really good on PC too.
Yeah, it does. And then actually, I played another game that's also Star Wars, Battlefront 2, first-person shooter, which came out like a year or two ago now, which had that whole loot box controversy.
Yeah.
That game's gorgeous. And they added things to it. So like they added characters from the new movies. It plays well. I mean, it's very much like a Battlefield game. I mean, it's the same developer, DICE.
Yep.
So it's very smooth, very fun. The pay to win thing is apparently kind of gone now, but you still do have to like grind a lot to unlock things for each character. So it does suck to like get killed by a guy and he has like 3 purple cards, like these rare cards, and I'm like, all right, I don't even have 1 card. I don't know what this is.
What do you think happened with that series? Because I feel like when Battlefront came out, people were obviously really hyped about it because it came out years ago. I remember for like the original Xbox, and there was like 1 or 2 versions of it, and then this came out, and then Battlefront 2, and I feel like no one plays it. Like I don't know anyone that plays it at all.
I think it's a much younger demographic, honestly. I remember when we were playing this with Joe, and it was around Christmas time when it came out, and it was on PlayStation 4. And he looked at the names of all the people we're playing with and against, and he's like, "There's a lot of Star Wars names on these, like Luke Skywalker 5029." And he's like, "I think what happened is a lot of kids got like a new PlayStation, and their parents got them the Star Wars game." So, and which made sense because everyone was just terrible at that game. Like it was really easy to kill just everyone. So I think it is a demographic thing. I think it's a lot of the younger crowds and just the people who are into Star Wars.
Yeah, it's changed. Star Wars really has changed quite a lot.
Yeah. So it's an alright game. It's fun. I do hear a lot of the people who were playing like Battlefield went back to Battlefront 2 because they weren't happy with what's been happening. I guess Battlefield 5 is the latest one, right?
Yeah,
or is it 1?
It's 5.
So they're like not happy with the changes because they changed like the time to kill, then they changed it back, and then maybe they change it again. But like yeah, Battlefront 2 does feel more of like a good Battlefield game
Okay.
than a bad one. And it's like, more it's laser guns, but they feel more modern than like the Battlefield 5 guns.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you're right, it looks amazing, like graphically, Battlefront 2. I've seen videos on YouTube of like 4K footage or whatever, and it just looks quite real.
Yeah, and it's fun. You get the different like hero characters too, so you're just like running around as Yoda or Darth Maul or whoever else. And they have like some special characters, like a special stormtrooper, or like this weird little alien guy who I don't know what the hell he is. I don't know if he's ever been in any movies. I guess he must have been like one of the people in one of the bars or something. But my friend picked him up the other day, and he was just ravaging people for like half the match. So it's fun. It's definitely fun.
That's cool. Fun is
Other
good.
Other than that, I've been playing still Apex Legends.
Okay.
So what is it about that game that keeps calling you back? Because you've been playing that for a while.
Yeah, I mean, ever since release, like so I played PUBG when that was a thing, and PUBG was good. It's very clunky. A lot of the clunk does work in its favor, but it's still funky. I know Vic likes to play it in third person, which personally I hate. It promotes camping because like you can hide behind a tree and you can see everything in front of you.
Okay.
But so we played a lot of that in first person, but it's still like, Like
I wasn't aware you could play it in first person. I thought it was only third person.
They added it. But they did add it like way before the Xbox release, I think.
I see.
Okay.
So, and like the game loop in that is it's long. Like, to get into a game, to drop down, to loot up, and to be ready to be like, all right, we're done looting. Let's just go kill everybody. It takes a while, and then like you get shot and you have to start over again. If you lose that fight, so it's loops a long time. Fortnite sucks. The shooting sucks.
I was not expecting
That's how you really feel.
It's so garbage. So
it looks like a
never
garbage
really
game.
played that. Yeah, and I hate building. I'm like, if somebody would build for me, I'd be like, okay, I'll try it again. But then I'm like, no, I hate the guns. Like, I feel like I'm spraying something instead of like shooting in a straight line. But then Apex came out, and it's Respawn, who did Titanfall 2, which we played for game night, which was fantastic.
Yes.
And it's a really good shooter. It's very tight. The running's very tight. The shooting's very tight. And the loop is a lot quicker. And it's just more convenient. Like the pinging system, you can see what your allies have. So it's like, oh, this guy needs energy ammo. I could see that. I don't even have to ask him. I can just drop it and ping it for him if he wants to pick it up. So the loop's just a lot quicker, a lot more smooth. And I generally have a friend or two who also enjoy playing it. So we hop in, hop out. They have events from time to time. Like they had a holiday one recently where there's a train that goes around the map, and the first team to capture the train 3 times wins. And it's 3 teams of 3. And that was a fun one. And like each person starts with a loadout, so it's kind of like a deathmatch type thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's very like easy to go in, easy to go out. You don't have to kind of know exactly what you're doing. Like anyone can have fun in this game.
Yeah, I think that's kind of vital. Drew and I speak about that so much these days.
Yeah, you got to have fun.
Yeah,
like, it's super important.
Yeah, this hits that sweet spot between PUBG and Fortnite.
I'd like to check it out one of these days. I mean, being free is a huge, huge benefit, but I don't know. It's like I feel like because I didn't get in on the ground floor when it came out.
There's matchmaking. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's like playing Call of Duty with a bunch of colonels.
Well, like I also, because I don't spend a lot of time playing multiplayer games, I always get pissed off when I do because I lose, and it's because I suck. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because it feels like you kind of wasted your time. And this might make it worse because it's, you're dead and you're done.
You're dead and you're done, guy.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Exactly. I will say PUBG, You might want to just try this for like 1 or 2 games because it's kind of an interesting experience. Do like either a solo drop or like just like the two of you. It's like a horror game, dude.
Dude, I played it. Tom and I jumped in and played PUBG one day, and that was terrifying.
Oh yeah, I remember you mentioning this.
Absolutely fucking terrifying.
Yeah, you're like crawling through the grass. You're like, oh god, don't let me see me, don't let me see me. Oh god, they saw me. Run.
Oh shit, yeah. Oh god.
Yeah.
And like he would tell me to like land next to him, and I would land like, 300 meters away.
So in Apex, you don't have to worry because the jump master controls where you go.
Okay.
You could choose to go off of him, but most people, well, unless you're a terrible puppy, most people don't.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But other than that, I tried the Division 2, which I played the Division 1. We got to the end game. This is like when it first came out, so there's no DLCs, no patches. It was just like the normal end game, which the enemies were incredibly bullet spongy. People would rush you with shotguns. They would one shot you, and your shotgun would do like maybe like 1/15 of their health. But Division 2, they seem to have gotten that much better so far. I'm not far in it, but
okay.
Like even the enemies that are bullet spongy, it like makes more sense. It's like, all right, I'm pinging these armor pieces off of them. Like it doesn't feel unfair and just like, stupid. So,
right.
And it is a gorgeous game too.
It is. It is a beautiful game.
Yeah.
I did some of the single player with it. Never really got into the multiplayer side of things, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you don't need to get into the multiplayer part until later anyway. Like,
yeah,
I let some people join me, and I don't know where they were. I think they just made it harder for me, so I kicked them.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had to. It was like halfway through the thing, and I'm like, why is everyone taking so long for me to die? Oh yeah, this guy, Colonel Sanders over here.
Colonel Sanders. That's awesome.
Oh god.
Yeah. And then I started Bloodstained on the Switch. Because I hear really good things about that. Again, not normally my style of game. I'm not very good at platformers, especially 2D platformers. But I started it. I've only beaten the first level, and it did kick my ass. I Googled. I'm like, oh, who's the first boss? Is this one of those games where you, like Dark Souls, where you can just skip the first boss and go somewhere you're not supposed to go?
Yeah.
It turned out I was like a hit away from killing this boss like 10 times.
Oh my god. That sucks.
So I did beat her, and I'll continue it. But it's a cool looking game. It's pretty.
That's another game that's on my 12 and 12 for this year. I do have a copy of it for the Xbox One. And I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, I've only heard good things about it. So.
Yeah, and they just patched it for the Switch too a couple times actually. So make sure your software is up to date.
Yeah, I did. It was stable before that because I think they patched it like end of last year, and then this was like a smaller bugs thing.
Okay.
But I'm also not too sensitive for like frame rate drops because I played Dead Cells on the Switch, and people were like, "Oh, it's broken. How can you play that?" I'm like, "Okay, I played Blighttown and Dark Souls. I'm good."
Apparently, they patched that up too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think they did.
Dead Souls.
Yeah.
Dead Cells, excuse me.
Yeah, Dead Cells. That game is really fun. Never beat it, and I'm not going to.
But you know what though? It's not the kind of game that I think you necessarily need to beat. It's just about that gameplay loop of being a fucking badass.
Yeah.
That game looks amazing.
It's fun. It's satisfying.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, I can't recommend it enough, Will. It's the kind of thing, especially like I always wanted to grab it on the Switch. That's another one I've been playing on the Xbox here and there, and like it's a lot of fun to just kind of pick up and just like kill as much shit as you can in as much time as you have.
Yeah, it really seems like a WCG.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
I think you'd like it. If you like Dark Souls, well, I guess it's a little different than that because you do go back to the beginning, but it does have a little bit of that feel.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, death is part of the loop. So once you realize that dying isn't a negative, then I think it becomes more fun. And it's about getting as far as you can with as much as you can.
Sure.
And then today I actually downloaded a new game on my phone.
One?
It's It's a MOBA game called Extraordinary Ones.
Huh.
It's made by NetEase, which I believe is a Korean company. It's either Korean or Chinese.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, although watch it be Japanese now. You guys know what a MOBA is, though, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an anime, one of those. They just
sounds terrible.
Jesus.
They just released it 3 days ago in United States. It's a global release, so United States, South America, and Europe. They've had it out in Asia for a year now. But it's really well done. They're making a Marvel one of these that's out in Asia right now. Not out in the United States yet. But it's very smooth, very easy to play, like good tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 15-20 minute games, so it's not like too much. And I mean, we'll see with MOBAs, like you typically don't do too much pay to win stuff, so I'm hoping they keep it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm having fun with that. I'm looking forward to playing more of that.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I'm playing right now.
It's a decent
I know you
lineup,
guys,
though.
Yeah, I've been dabbling. I know you guys mentioned me in Dota 2 the last episode.
Yes.
And, speaking of MOBAs, I haven't played that in a while. Like, I think I booted up like for a game or two like a couple of months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then like not for a year or two before that. That game is a rough MOBA. It's like if you stop playing it, there's so much going on, so much changing, so much to learn that it's hard to go back to. And the games are very long, very like mentally intensive. And for my World of Warcraft therapy sessions, I would actually do those after some games of Dota too, because it has a rough game.
It's like Skyrim for me. Like that's my therapy after dying in Sekiro over and over again.
Yeah, and in Dota it's really rough too, because like once you get to a certain level, which doesn't take too much, but within the first 5 minutes you're like, this game is just done. There's nothing I can do in this game, and you can't forfeit, so you're just stuck there for sometimes over an hour, waiting for it to finish. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, you played that game for a long time. You used to watch it competitively as well, too, right?
Yeah, and I still sometimes turn it on competitively. It's fun to watch the pros play it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just too time intensive and too stressful. Like, I try to play games now to relax, so something's like stressing me out. I'm like, nope, I'm done.
Right.
Yeah.
So any thoughts on like League of Legends compared to Dota 2, or is that a game you ever got into?
No, that game's garbage. No, I tried a little League of Legends. The game kind of looks bad. Like the graphics of themselves on the map, they're very muted, like the colors, and the gameplay loop it's so different than Dota, because Dota is very like what you do, how you control your characters. It's all very like intricate and intentional. Like League players, when they go to Dota, they're like, Dota feels laggy, and that's because Dota heroes have different turn rates, so you can't just like go forward and backwards like at the same exact speed. Your character has to turn around. So
right.
In League, it's like this arcadey feel that I never really liked. And you spam your skill, so it feels like less. Like at least lower levels, it's like less skill based. You just spam your things, and it's like, all right, well, my health is getting too low, so I'm just gonna run back behind my tower, and this guy can't kill me because the spells are weak, but you can just spam them.
Yeah.
Whereas Dota, it's like, oh, this guy has full health, he extended by like a foot. All right, you're dead. So yeah, I just could never get into it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a lot of work.
Interesting. I don't know a lot about that genre, so it's kind of interesting to hear like the differences between the two. I just assumed they were basically the same game with like a different skin.
No, they do feel very different, and I would have probably played more League if I actually had like any friends who played it, so they can kind of like guide you to the differences. But I didn't, so.
But for now, it's hot garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I played it like 2, 3, 4 times maybe at this point, but yeah, I've tried to give it a fair shake.
We want to pivot into something we like to do with every guest that we have, and that's a lightning round. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask you a series of rapid fire questions. And most of them are going to be either or questions. You know, do you like this versus that? And you have to answer without explanation as quickly as possible. Some of them will have, will be a little bit more straightforward, like what's your favorite X, or, it might have like a 3-way choice. But generally speaking, we're looking to go as quickly as you can and try to be as straightforward with the answers. Okay. A lot of these Will had chosen, but we're going to go back and forth with them. I just tried to rearrange them so that they have some sort of a flow as far as, if we're sticking with a game or a series, like we're kind of hitting those, kind of back to back rather than all over the place. So
I'm excited for this. This is always fun.
Yeah. There's always some fascinating answers to come out of these lightning rounds, and everybody's different. So
I remember Joe saying, he's like, I finished the lightning round, I immediately regretted like 4 answers.
Yep, sounds about right.
Yeah, I was like, I know which ones you're talking about. You messed up, bro. Messed up.
Well, let's see if you could either redeem his honor or mess up worse.
So true. Yeah, we'll go back and forth as usual.
All right. Do you want to start or should I start?
Go ahead and start.
All right, Raff, are you ready?
Why not?
Do you have any questions about this process?
No.
Good. This is too bad. All right, here we go. Nintendo or Sega?
Nintendo.
Sony or Microsoft?
Microsoft.
PC or console?
PC.
Console or handheld?
Handheld.
Mario or Sonic?
Neither.
Has to be one.
Do you have an alternative?
No. I'll say Mario over Sonic. Sonic sucks.
All right. We just broke Raph.
Best controller?
Xbox Elite.
Worst controller?
Mad Catz.
Not brand.
I feel like
we'll accept that. All right, I'll specify. Mad Catz N64 controller.
Holy shit, that's a bad one. Mouse and keyboard?
Clear.
Clear. Mouse and keyboard or controller?
Mouse and keyboard.
Good answer.
Hardest game?
Hardest game. Crap, like nothing's jumping out at me.
I mean, we know it's Sekiro.
I've only played like the
Don't
tutorial,
influence him.
So I can't say. I have. All right. So real quick, I watched a speedrun of that, and the speedrunner got his ass handed to him by multiple bosses multiple times. Yeah, so I don't want to play that. Hardest game. I would say Final Fantasy 11.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. I can explain later why.
Easiest game.
Easiest game? World of Warcraft.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
First console?
Nintendo.
Best console?
Xbox 360.
Good choice.
Worst console?
Worst console? GameCube, I'd say.
Wow.
Huh. I feel bad by this.
That's gonna cut a lot of people deep.
Real deep, dude.
I don't like hemorrhaging. I don't like a lot of those Nintendo games.
All right.
Zelda.
Final Fantasy 7, 8, or 9?
Definitely 7.
All right. Modern Final Fantasy or classic Final Fantasy?
What's modern Final Fantasy?
3D graphics.
All right. Why don't we split this into a different way? Classic is before 6. We'll do a mid tier from 7 to 10, and then beyond 10 would be modern. How's that?
Definitely mid tier.
Mid tier. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta think on your feet, Will.
Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3?
2, easily.
Best Witcher game?
Cyberpunk? I don't know. I don't like the Witcher games. I played one. I beat two. Ooh.
Did you write that, Will?
Best Witcher game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he doesn't like those, so.
I always say Polish people are terrible.
That's crap, dude. You were so hyped for 2.
I was, and then I played it, and I hated it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that.
I beat it. Vinny's still giving me crap for not
case.
beating 3 or playing it. Although the Witcher series is great.
You're up, Will.
Best Battlefield.
Bad Company 2.
Bad Company 2 or Battlefield 3. I feel like this has already been answered.
Yeah.
Okay. Best Battlefield 3 map.
Battlefield 3 map.
This is easy.
Well, first of all, you should know, because I said this over and over again, I'm terrible with map names. I played that game for a year and
you
do like
just
one
said
map
it
name.
recently.
I would say Operation Metro.
There you go.
But honestly, the best Battlefield map is Laguna Presa.
What the fuck is this acronym?
Battlefield Bad Company 2.
Okay, best Battlefield Bad Company 2 map.
Laguna Presa.
Nice.
Yep.
Best Call of Duty.
So I would say, what was it? COD Blops 4.
Ugh.
I'm sorry, every time I hear COD Blops,
it had a really good Battle Royale mode, honestly.
You just want to pop a zit or something, you know?
That was the last COD Blops, right?
Drew's just dying over there. He's like, my skin is melting.
It really is. I have a candle next to me. I'm going to stick my face in it.
COD Blops sounds like it's something that, like, just the gamer that just gets, like, Call of Duties does when he's in the bathroom.
COD Blops sounds like an STD.
You got the COD Blops, bro.
The assistant manager at Regency Gaming probably calls it that.
Oh, God.
This is...
Am I up? Oh,
yeah.
Up. This is my favorite Dark Souls.
Favorite Dark Souls? I would say 1.
Okay.
Yeah, 1.
All right. Dota 2 or WoW?
Ooh, that is a tough one. If you asked me this like a year ago, I'd say Dota 2. Now I'd say WoW.
Okay, so it's WoW.
Yeah.
You know, it is incredibly appropriate that we landed on this one for me, because as a Slovak to a Polak, I'm very excited to ask you, kibasi or pierogies?
Kielbasa.
Kielbasa, all right.
Yeah. See? Guess what I had for dinner right before this?
Was it?
Kielbasa and eggs.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
A staple in the Polish meals.
And it was good.
Very nice, man. Well, that's our lightning round.
Did I win?
I feel like... yeah, sure.
Sweet. Suck it, Joe.
I was like, can I say something real quick? Just give me like 2 seconds.
Oh, God.
I will say, Joe and I have a thing going on right now. So I've been yelling at him to play Super Mario RPG for years now.
Yeah.
He actually has to beat it before the end of this month now.
Oh, no.
And he's playing it, and it's really funny. And I have to beat Plague's Tale, which I think is probably at least his top 3 games of last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming to Game Pass on PC, I think, really soon, apparently. They announced it. So
awesome.
I'll play that. I had no intention of doing that, but since he's finally playing this goddamn game, I've been trying to get him to play for years.
It's a good trade-off.
Yeah.
And it's a good game, too.
Yeah, it's not too long. I mean, it's like 20, 25 hours.
It's short for an RPG, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so different than the other Mario games. Like, even the Paper Marios, because it's a Square game. Square Enix made it. Or, well, Squaresoft, or Square, whatever they were at the time.
Yeah.
So
Very cool. Very cool. So, man, it's It's been a lot of fun chatting with you. We've gone quite a while. I think we went longer than we expected.
Yeah.
And I feel like we could continue to go longer, so we'll have to have you come back for another episode one of these days, Raf. Maybe we'll get you and Joe on the same show or something, do some kind of crazy shenanigans like that.
That'll be wild.
Yeah. I'll wreck him. Get his dog tags.
He probably would find a way, too.
I'm kidding. I already have those.
Yeah.
That's true.
Have a good collection.
Before we wrap it up, do you have anything that you wanted to say? Any last words for the show?
Yeah. I think people should try to join us for those game nights because they are a lot of fun. We are having a good group of people come out and different people every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Puxer will make it eventually. He's getting closer and closer every time. But we even had a random join us off the Twitch stream, which was cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to more of those and just to playing with more people in those.
Yeah. Ton of fun.
I've been really enjoying those, and it's always fun playing Halo. But I'm looking forward to branching out to some different games.
Yeah, some more niche choices like. Yeah, I mean, even Last of Us, if anyone has that game, that multiplayer is weird but hard and a lot of fun.
Yes.
I think Tom was talking about that.
He was
as well too, if I recall correctly. So might be worth looking into.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Cool. So yeah, so if you guys are listening to the show and you enjoyed our interview with the grapes of Raffy Fat Fingers himself, please take a moment to head on over to our Instagram, our Twitter, or our Facebook page at WDGR Podcast. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, anywhere that you get your podcasts. We're available. You can find us on the web at www.wdgrpodcast.com. That's wdgrpodcast.com. Will, if somebody would like to follow you on social media, how can you do so?
Will_gear.
You can follow me at ScionStorm, and Raf, you have a private sort of thing, so
well,
I guess
it's real estate related, but people can follow me if they want. I'll be posting more things there as I branch off.
Well, you have a Twitter too, right?
Yeah, but I don't use it. I would just say at Rafal Trowicki on Instagram.
So if somebody wants to buy a house from you, how can they do so?
Douglas Element in Bridgehampton. Look me up. I'm on the website. You can literally type in my name and it'll pop up. So, yeah.
Word.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool
or
deal.
rafal.trowicki@element.com.
Cool.
We have
Very nice.
coolest houses.
Oh, yeah.
The coolest houses, the best houses, they're tremendous houses.
Yeah, we have a 55 million oceanfront if someone wants to buy that, you know?
Sell it, Drew.
Jesus. I feel like that's the kind of property that sells itself.
You'd hope so. Or I hope so.
And this is why I'm not in sales anymore, folks. You see that thing? Do you like it? Then buy it.
Yeah, pretty
You don't
much.
like it? Well, don't fucking buy it.
Why are you wasting my time? God damn it.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it was
God.
great having you on, man. We had a ton more to ask, but obviously we can only go for so long.
Yeah, that was a pleasure to be here. I had a ton of fun.
Cool. Well, on that note, I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
See ya.
Good night.
There we are.
Leave me alone. I'm Polish.